Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program this evening. If it's the first time you're joining us, well, you're not alone because this is the first broadcast. Okay, let's get into it. Very interesting topics I want us to discuss today. If you're tuning in, make sure you share, comment, like or dislike. We have to be fair across board. Okay. Soon I'm going to have a journalist on the line. A Ghanaian journalist is going to join us on the line this evening. She's in the Volta region of Ghana. She'll be talking to us, giving us an update as to certain stories that broke during the course of the week. So this issue I want us to look at today. One is the former president of Ghana says that democracy has failed to contain corruption. I'm asking, do you agree? And then the second part of the show, going to a fetish priest for guidance. Is it wrong? So these are the two main issues that we'll be talking about. Make sure you share, as I did mention, make sure you share, comment. I'd like to know your thoughts. Emmanuel Kofi Kwache is already online. Pamela is also online. Make sure you share, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. So now I'm going to try and get the Ghanaian journalist online. Ivy Soteji is her name. Is a journalist from Ghana. She works for Multimedia Joy News. Thank you for joining us this evening, Ivy. There was a story that I actually heard about this a few weeks ago. This is to do with the Western Togoland separatist group for Ghana vow that they were going to declare their independence. What is happening now?
These people are saying that the past governments, both the present and the past government, that's the NDC and then the NPP, right from Papa J, that's Jerry John Rawlings, they have not done enough for the Volta region in particular. Whereas the Volta region has been the World Bank for the NDC in particular, and nothing much has been done for the region. And you know, for Volta region, I am from Volta region myself, we have a lot. According to these people, we have oil too. We have a lot of resources. We have salt in large quantity, okay? And then nothing has been done, even though they are tapping these resources. So if they become a country on its own, they know how to manage their resources and also for citizens to benefit from.
We've seen similar things happening right now as we speak in Cameroon, although they're trying to find a solution. We've seen the Francophone and Anglophone. Of course, it hasn't got to that stage yet. But within that particular region, do people get the sense that what is happening, they're going to gain a lot of support for people to also get on board?
The group members, yes, they think that they will be able to have support from people, especially in the diaspora. Some countries will be able to back them. So all they want is to go ahead and then do what they want to do. They are so much interested. They believe that they are going to be successful with this idea of becoming independent. So their leader happens to be an old man who is about 85 years. So people are saying since he is old, they don't know the outcome or what will be the outcome, because some people are also in support. Let's say 50% of Veterans are in support of the idea.
All right, we'll keep a close eye on that particular story, and then hopefully if any development does come up, we will definitely get in touch with you. But Ivy, let's move on, because I'm interested in this part of the discussion we're going into now. This is to do with Nogokpo. Nogokpo is not just a place of going there for, if somebody has wronged you or you don't like somebody for any particular reason, but there's actually a historical story behind Nogokpo.
Yes, Nogokpo was founded by Togbi Saba several years ago. And initially they were in Aguzume, according to Togbi Amuzu, the man I spoke to in the documentary. And a problem came between him and his friends or other people. And so he relocated to the present place, Nogokpo. Nogokpo means Nogokpo. Nogokpo means that is in ever. Nogokpo means will you stay peacefully? Will you stay cool? Kind of. Okay. So according to Togbi Amozo, Nogokpo is a nice place, very cool. The people are very friendly, and the shrine itself is not a place where you go and then take someone there to be killed. No. According to him, Nogokpo Shrine is a place of justice. So, for example, when someone steals something from someone and the person is not ready to repent, or they've not gotten the person who stole the item, okay, and they go to Nogokpo to report, they will send a message to the person, the suspect, or the one who is guilty. Several messages will be sent, and when that person refuses to adhere to the advice or go to the shrine, do the needful, do the right thing, that is why the person is killed.
If you've done something and somebody was to report you at Nogokpo, a lot of messages will be sent for you to come and defend yourself. Should you fail at any given moment to turn up, then the gods will strike. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. When they strike, that is what is called justice is served. Okay. Now, apart from that, people also go to Nogokpo for health benefits. They go there for healing, according to Tobi Amuzu. They go there for lots of things. Some people also go there to find husbands or to look for husbands. Some even go there to look for the fruits of the womb after several years of marriage.
Are they aware of the perception that people have of Nogokpo as being evil?
Yeah, people are aware, but obviously they don't seem to be so much worried about that because to them is a normal thing, Volta region or in the Anglo side, especially it's noted. People have that thing about that part of the Volta region as worshipping voodoo and all that. So people they know that this is what people think about them, but they are not really worried about it. For them, they are worshipping their own. They said they worship the supreme God.
So there you have it, people. That was Ivy Sotoji. She's a journalist from she's based in the Volta region. She works for Multimedia Joy News. Okay, let me read a few text messages. Samnana is saying, hi, why the interest in traditional African belief system? Do we now realize that Western belief system has failed African miserably? It's not an issue of saying that the Western belief system has failed Africans miserably. I think, it is debatable depending on what side you're on, because somebody who, believes in the ancestral gods, or the fetish or the shrine, would say, look, when I go there and I put my request on the table, I get instant response or answers. A Christian too or a Muslim too can come to you and say, look, when I go on my knees or when I go to the mosque and I pray, I get instant, get my questions answered instantly. We really need to be careful as, pitting religions against each other, because I think this is where it starts to get really, really dangerous. We're treading on dangerous grounds, because religion is not just something that you wake up one day and then you switch off. It's embedded in people. On to the issue of corruption, and yes, the former president of Ghana, Jerry John Rawlings, says that democracy has failed to contain corruption. So I'm asking, do you agree? Let me hear your take on that. Has democracy failed? Has democracy failed to contain corruption? Do you agree? Under normal circumstances, democracy is supposed to tighten up institutions, make them stronger, to eradicate corruptions, because it is the law. Nobody is above the law. And I've said this, and it's funny we're having this conversation today, actually. And I would just go back to what Ivy said herself. Okay, so let's put our thinking cap on for a second here. I've always said this, that religion, culture, and tradition is the biggest problem facing Ghana today, and by and large, the whole continent of Africa. Religion, culture, and tradition. It actually supersedes the laws of the land. Okay, so this is from James. James is saying he agrees with the former president that democracy has not been able to contain corruption simply because the people in power are the laws, they are the lawmakers, they do bend the laws, they know how to break the laws and go away scot-free. They have this thing they say in Ghana, democracy, kebi mamin kebi. Like, say yours, speak your mind, I'll speak my mind. Everybody's got their own opinion. And that is true. But how can, since Ghana gained independence, 1957, okay, maybe let's take away the coup d'etats that happens, because when coup happens, coups is never good for any country. It just comes to destabilize the country and sets the country maybe 40 or 30 years back before it can rise up again. I remember during the 2016 elections, I said arguably what Ghana had going for her is the fact that it's a peaceful country. Because I think it was before the elections actually, because this was the time of the doomsday and all the economic challenges that was happening in the country. We've pushed for democracy, but yet two major parties. One has ruled longer than the other one, especially the NDC. But do Ghanaians feel the change that these politicians promise? Now, I'm not tarnishing all politicians as corrupt. No, because I don't know all politicians. I don't need to know you personally, but by your work, of course, there are some decent politicians out there. Every single Ghanaian need to look at themselves. The gap between the rich and poor is just getting wider and wider and wider and wider. And Ghanaians keep voting for these two parties. This one will come in and blame the other party for failing to arrest or jail its party member for being corrupt. It's just allegations upon allegations upon allegations upon allegations. So that's one side of the story. But then by the former president saying that democracy has failed to contain corruption, what is he trying to say? Should Ghana revert back to the strongman era? Is that what he's trying to say? Dictatorship? Is that what the president is trying to push for? Okay, I've got a couple of messages on my text phone. Peter is saying, Jones, I've actually been thinking of what you said to do with religion, culture, and tradition being what's holding Ghana back. He said, I agree with you, because somebody can commit a crime, or an MP or a minister can acquire wealth. When he or she is busted, rather than being taken to court, they go behind. I don't understand what Peter is trying to say. Okay, so I get what Peter is trying to say. What Peter is trying to say is that if somebody commits an offense, rather than being dealt with the law, you have they call upon elders to go and plead on their behalf. That's interesting. That's interesting because even within Ghanaian settings, within our culture, if you've offended somebody and you're able to get an elderly person to go and plead on your behalf, the more or less forget about whatever it is, whatever crime that you've committed. This is from George. George is saying, Jones, I think it's about time that we forget about this religious stuff and go back to our ancestral belief. Did you hear what the journalist said? There's a very low level of crime in that particular part of Ghana. Okay. Another message from Nana. Nana is saying, we need to be ruled with an iron fist. You give people an inch, they will take a mile. Okay, let me take a few more messages. This is from Jennifer. On the issue of democracy, I don't think democracy has failed, but the people have failed democracy. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, there's no manual to democracy. The manual to democracy is the law, the constitution, which everybody must abide by. Margaret is saying, we need to be disciplined. Democracy has not failed. It's the people that has failed democracy. My name is Jones Awa. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll be back, all being well, next week, Friday. Until then, have a good night. Stay safe.